Hi, I'm Steve, and I'm here with Tristan and Sue, and we're talking about ALARP. ALARP is an acronym that stands for as low as reasonably practicable. And this has a particular meaning as a tenet that underpins much of what we do in health and safety. And it means fundamentally we need to get risk as low as we possibly can. But clearly there's a legal definition that underpins this. So Sue, as a health and safety lawyer, what do we mean by reasonably practicable?
Thanks, Steve. The Health and Safety at Work Act doesn't refer to ALARP as such. The key duties are under Section 2 and Section 3 for an employer to take all reasonably practicable steps, but effectively it means the same thing. You've got to reduce the risks to the lowest level that's practicable. But perhaps more importantly than that is understanding that if you're prosecuted for a breach of that duty, the obligation is not on the prosecution to prove that you didn't take all reasonably practicable steps. It's on you as the defendant to prove that you did. Tris, as an engineer, how would you establish proof of ALARP?
Yeah, so as an engineer, we typically focus on the approved code of practices and the standards that are available in the guidance, so that we can prove that we've achieved ALARP. So one of the things with the approved code of practices is that if you actually follow them, it gives you a presumption of legal compliance. So if you don't follow them, the key thing to note is that you, as Sue's mentioned, you are responsible for effectively proving that you've done something that is equivalent, so suitably efficient. So a typical example would be in machinery guarding. If you've got a dangerous part of the machine, you obviously have to protect against access, but depending on how easy it is to access and how frequent there is access required, would depend what you need to do, whether that is a complicated control system with an interlock, or potentially just a simple guard which has a bolt. Occupational safety also has some interesting parts of that, doesn't it, Steve?
Yeah, and from my perspective, being involved heavily in occupational hygiene, it has a particular meaning for us in terms of keeping exposures to, for example, chemicals as low as possible. And it is particularly important because we have workplace exposure limits, but they're not safe levels that we should keep below. They're a guide, and we should try and keep as low as possible below those exposure limits. And also, we have sensitive individuals in the workplace, so we could have people that are sensitive to particular chemicals like isocyanates, and an exposure could cause asthma. So it's very important to keep exposures as low as possible.
So in summary then, ALARP is another way of describing the legal obligation to take all reasonably practicable steps to reduce risks. The burden of proof is on you to demonstrate that you did that, but if you follow guidance, if you follow approved codes of practice in particular, there will be a presumption that you have complied with that. And if you are not taking steps to do something, then it's a good idea to record that and explain why, so that you've got that record as proof. Thank you very much.